Hi everyone and welcome to another video. So I always get asked on Instagram about people that have just started planning and they're a bit overwhelmed with everything. They might watch a setup video and think, what on earth do you have in this planner and how do you use it and keep up to date with it and everything like that. So I just wanted to do a little video on that. So this is a Giglio. I wouldn't suggest starting out with a Giglio as they are quite expensive, but they are a lovely ringed planner. So when I say a ringed planner, I mean that they have the rings here. This is a personal size, which is also medium, as a few companies call it that. So as you can see, I have dividers, I have tabs at the back here, and it can look very overwhelming if you don't really know what's going on. But as a planner newbie, if you're just starting out, you will want to keep things very simple, and I suggest starting here, starting with a month on 2 pages. A lot of people already use a calendar like this in some form, whether it's on your phone or in the kitchen. You might have a family calendar, and on here you can just pop important dates, so things you don't want to forget: birthdays, anniversaries, maybe a work schedule, school schedule, appointments. You could have doctor's appointments, you could have any kind of appointment really. You could put bills on here as well. This is just a catch-all for all your information and things you don't want to miss. You can keep the whole year in here, which I would suggest doing, as then you've just got the full overview. So I have the entire year, and I also have the beginning of the year, which I keep, and I just clip it off. If I need to refer these ones, I can just undo the clip. You can colour code, but you don't have to, that could come later. So I would suggest starting here with a monthly first. Once you have your month, that's kind of the basis of your planner. You can then go into a weekly if you want to, and all the weekly does would be just to break down the information of each specific week in the month. So you might add specific daily to-dos, whether that's bills or things you just want to accomplish. You would then put your holidays and appointments on that week too, and this is just a more in-depth look. Instead of focusing on the whole month, you're just breaking it down into little weekly sections. And this is a week on 1 page, as the whole page is just for 1 week, and then this is the next week. You can get a week on 2 pages if you need a bit more space. It's just trial and error with a lot of inserts and different things like that for ringed planners. I've been doing this quite a while now. It's coming up to nearly 6 years. So I've kind of figured out what I need and what I like using and need to use for my planning to be effective and efficient as possible. So it is just a lot of trial and error. What you could do, and what I suggest, is having some sort of note section as well. So in this you could use an inbox section if you wanted to. If not, you could just have a to-do list, a to-buy list, things that you don't want to forget, and you can just quickly scribble them down. I would also suggest having a notes section. So this might just be plain paper, whatever kind of paper you wanted, and you could just write notes on it. If you're on a phone call, make a note. If you need to write something down, just scribble it down. It doesn't have to be neat or fancy, just get the information onto the paper. I also suggest having a notes page to figure out what you might need. Not everybody uses a weekly. Not everybody uses daily pages here. It's just personal preference and what you need. You might be fine just with a monthly section and a notes section, but if you do need more sections, then you can always add them in. That is the beauty of rings and why I love them so much. So you might want to add in daily pages, and this would just be you breaking down your day into your to-dos here instead of having just the main list at the front. You could then break it down even further and just write down things that you want to accomplish on that day. You could have a schedule section if you wanted. It can really be whatever you want it to be. You could also have a personal section if you want, where you can track different things, maybe doctor's appointments, maybe health related things. You could have sections for your work or your business. You could keep business notes in there, meeting notes in there, etc. That kind of thing. Or you could have pages for your children in there. So this is kind of after 6 years I have this much stuff. I didn't start out like this at all. And it is just a lot of development and a lot of just working out what you need. If you use a monthly calendar for a week and you find, oh, I could really use with a daily page to jot things down, just add some daily pages in. It's really that simple. If you want a weekly view, just add it in. You can buy inserts from like Filofax and Etsy shops and things that are already printed for you. It is a little bit more expensive than if you want to print your own like I do, but planning can get very expensive, so I do suggest just starting with the basics. Have the monthly section, have the notes section, then use it for a week or two. Just figure out if you need a weekly or if you need a daily page, and the different sections you could have. So you might have a list section, a to-do section, like I said, the weekly and the dailies, a health section. You might have trackers to track different things. Let me see. So here I'm tracking my kids' school schedule. I am tracking cleaning things down here with this little tab for the month. You can really do whatever you want to do and just watch loads of videos and make loads of notes and just start really, really basic. You don't need a fancy ring planner. You don't need 10 million different pens. I really like these Pentel point liners. I've got the 0.3 here, which is really nice. It is handy to have a highlighter or something. I do like to highlight to colour code in my monthlies, which is really helpful sometimes. So I have a couple of mild liners here, and then I have the mild liner brush pen here, and also a Tombow. But again, you don't need those to start. Sticky notes are also quite handy too to pop down. Have I got any here? Just to scribble down notes or shopping lists or things you don't want to forget. So here, these are just some Arteza ones which I've got. Or again, you can find fancier ones on Etsy or places like that. Instagram is so good for getting inspiration on things, but don't let it overwhelm you and put you off that yours isn't the fanciest planner or that it's not the prettiest. If it works for you, then that's all that matters. You might also want some tabs, which are very useful to just highlight specific pages that you might use frequently. So like I said, I have the cleaning tab down here. So these, again, Amazon's a really great place to find tabs from. And that is it really. So just do what works for you. I know it's hard when you see everyone on Instagram and things, and they might use loads of stickers and washi tape, but you really don't need it. If that's what you want and it makes you happy, then do that. But all that you really need is some paper and a pen, and anyone can plan. If you have any more specific questions, then leave them down below and I will try to get back to you. Don't be overwhelmed and just do it. If you fancy giving it a go, I suggest you just pick up a cheap ring planner or even a notebook. You could do bullet journaling, and all you need is literally a notebook and a pen and you are good to go. I might expand on this video a little bit more. Videos coming up. If you would like me to do that a little bit more in depth, then let me know. And I shall see you in my next video. Bye.